Matthew McConaughey learned discipline when his life felt like it was falling apart. In this video, you will get 3 rules that help you stay consistent when your routine breaks, your mood drops, and life gets heavy. Watch this clip first, then I will break it down and turn it into steps you can use this week.
I don't know what I want to do when I get out of high school exactly, but law school's coming up. But you know what? My mom goes, what about exchange student? Sweden and Australia were the 2. And I chose Australia because it said, speak English and maybe Elle McPherson's over there. So boom, I go to Australia. All right, not what I thought, but I can make this work. All of a sudden, I don't have my car. I ain't got my girlfriend. I need to go see on the other side of town. I don't have my golf clubs. I ain't got money in my pocket. And I got a 10 p.m. curfew, even on Friday and Saturday night. I'm going to school again. I feel like I'm going in reverse. Socially, none of the friends at school. They put me in my junior year over there because I went mid-semester, and they wanted me to go first half of the year with the juniors so I could carry on the second half of my year with what would become seniors. So I feel like I'm going backwards. Socially, no one's got a car. Their interests seem to be different. The teachers are not, I'm failing. They're giving me Fs and everything. So I start skipping class, going to the library, and find Lord Byron. And I got my Walkman. And I remember I had U2's Rattle and Hum on cassette. I had Maxi Priest. He's got a great Cat Stevens cover. And an NXS album, which was an Aussie band. Hutchinson is the singer. And those are my rotation. I'm outside of my home. I'm on a little island. You learn, to have an first objective look back at your own life. When you leave what you know, you find out a lot about what you actually know. And all of a sudden I'm seeing what my life was as that kid who got the money and I'm flowing, and I'm starting to look back going, I miss that, but I'm also going like, you're kind of good time rolling Charlie. You're popular, everything's going great for you. I didn't have any resistance in front of me, which was fine. But boy, now I got a lot of resistance in front of me. I don't have my friends to talk to. I got questions coming up. This family's we have a very awkward relationship with the family. And remember, at this time, I'm reading Lord Byron in the library. The principals come to now see me and go, look, doesn't look like school's going good for you. We have this thing called work experience. Let's get you a job. You won't get paid. So I worked at the ANZ Bank. I worked at the barrister's office. I'm taking these odd jobs. As a carpenter and all these different things. And my home life is this over in Australia. I am getting home. We have dinner at 5. We eat from 5 to 5:30. I clean the dishes. I am immediately going back to my room, take a bath, listen to one of those 3 album cassettes, read Lord Byron in the bathtub, work one out. 6 nights a week. I'm running 6 miles a day. I've become vegetarian. I'm eating freaking lettuce head with ketchup on it. I'm down to 135 pounds. I'm pretty doggone sure that my job is to go to South Africa, and I'm gonna be a monk. And that's where I'm going. Now, I look back now and I see, I needed these disciplines to give me a sense of measurement each day of, I've got my own thing going here, because my home life, I was lost, man. I'm lost. I don't have any. I'm writing 16-page letters to myself, and I'm returning them with a 17-page letter. Socratic letters to myself. But I chose, in hindsight, I was like, why didn't you come home early? And I remember it very clearly when I said, yes, I'll go become an exchange student. The American ambassador said, sign this contract that says you won't return until a full year unless there's a fatality in your family or you're majorly sick. And I said, I'm not signing that. I'll just give you a handshake on it, man, because I'm going over there for the year. I'm not pulling the parachute. And I remember that handshake. And I remember what my dad told me about what happens when 2 men shake a hand. That you don't need a contract, that is the contract. And I had a certain honor with that. There was no way I was coming home. If I'd have come home, I'd have felt like I did my dad wrong. So while I'm over in Australia going, inside out, imploding, I start to find a little power in the fact that, oh man, the harder this gets, the greater the reward there's going to be on the other side once I get out of here. Because it was non-negotiable. I was staying the year. So I never gave my mind the chance to go, well, yeah, you could go home. That was never on my proverbial mental table as a choice.
What Matthew just described is what it feels like when life pulls the rug out from under you. One day you have comfort, routine, and the people you lean on. Then suddenly you are in a new place with fewer options, less control, and a lot more silence. In his case, it was Australia. No car, no girlfriend, no money in his pocket. A curfew like he was a kid again. New teachers, new classmates. He felt like he was going in reverse. And that feeling is not only for exchange students. You can feel the same thing when your relationship ends, when you lose a job, when a parent gets sick, when you move to a new city, when your business slows down, or when burnout finally catches you. The outside world changes, and inside you start to feel scattered. You do not know where to put your foot next. You start skipping the hard things. You hide in distractions. You tell yourself you will get back on track later. Matthew did something most people do not do in that moment. He built discipline as a lifeline, not as a performance. He ran every day. He kept a routine. He read. He wrote those long letters to himself. In his words, he needed disciplines to give him a sense of measurement each day. That phrase matters. Measurement means proof. Proof means you are not drifting. Here is the core message for you. When life falls apart, you do not need a perfect plan. You need a few rules you can follow, even when you feel low. Discipline is not a personality trait some people are born with. It is a set of decisions you repeat until they become your default. It is something you can build when you are calm, then lean on when you are not. So today we are going to turn Matthew's story into 3 rules that work in real life. Not when you have a perfect schedule. Not when you are motivated. When the week is messy and you are just trying to hold it together. Rule 1 is daily anchors. You choose a couple small actions that give you measurement. They are like stakes in the ground. They tell your brain, I still have my own thing going, even if everything else is unstable. Rule 2 is make it non-negotiable. Matthew said going home was never on his mental table. He removed the parachute. When your mind has an easy exit, it will take it the moment the stress rises. We will talk about how to remove the exit in your own life in a healthy way. Rule 3 is use the storm as training. Matthew said the harder it gets, the greater the reward on the other side. That is not a motivational quote. That is a strategy. When you treat hard seasons like training, you stop asking why me and you start asking what now. And before we go further, I want to make this clear. Discipline is not punishment. It is not you being harsh. It is you protecting yourself. It is you creating stability so you can heal, rebuild, and move forward. So if you are in a rough season right now, I want you to listen for one thing in each rule that you can apply this week. Not 10 things. 1. Because small consistency beats big promises every time. Now, let us start with the first rule, the daily anchors that give you measurement. When everything feels uncertain, your brain starts looking for something it can control. If it cannot find anything, it will chase quick relief. That is when you start scrolling, snacking, drinking, or avoiding. Not because you are weak, but because you are trying to calm your system. Daily anchors solve that problem in a cleaner way. They give you a reliable win, a daily marker that says, I showed up today. In the clip, Matthew had several anchors. He ran 6 miles a day. He had a routine at night. He read. He wrote. Those habits did not fix his home life overnight, but they gave him measurement. Each day had a point. Each day had proof. For you, an anchor does not need to be extreme. In fact, it should be small enough that you can do it on a bad day. Think of it as a minimum ritual that keeps you steady. Here is a simple way to build it. Pick 2 anchors only, one for the body and one for the mind. A body anchor can be a 10-minute walk, a short stretch, a few push-ups, or a quick workout video. If you are going through a breakup, the body anchor keeps you from staying in bed all day. If you are stressed at work, the body anchor burns off some of the tension so you can think. If you feel anxious, movement tells your nervous system that you are safe enough to act. A mind anchor can be 5 minutes of journaling, reading a few pages, planning the day, or sitting quietly without your phone. If your thoughts are loud, journaling is like taking the noise out of your head and putting it on paper. If you feel lost, planning gives you a next step. If you feel overwhelmed, reading can slow your mind down and pull you out of panic. Now make the anchors measurable, not in a complicated way, just yes or no. Did I do my walk? Did I write for 5 minutes? That is it. Measurement matters because it removes the lie that you are doing nothing. Even a hard season becomes easier to handle when you can say, I kept my 2 anchors. Use real-life timing. Choose a time that is likely to happen. After coffee, after lunch, or before you shower. If you wait for the perfect mood, you will drift. If you link it to a routine you already have, the habit becomes automatic. Also, reduce friction. Put your shoes by the door. Keep your journal on the table. Leave the book on your pillow. Make the first step easy. When you are tired, you will not rise to your goals. You will fall to your setup. One more thing. Anchors are not a replacement for your bigger goals. They are the bridge back to them. When life falls apart, you may not be able to do your full routine. That is fine. The anchors keep you connected to discipline until you are ready to build more. If you take only one idea from this rule, take this. In chaos, you do not need more motivation. You need a small daily proof that you are still steering. 2 anchors, done daily, can keep you stable until the storm passes. Matthew said something that explains why many people quit when life gets hard. Going home was never on his mental table. He could not pull the parachute. He made a handshake deal, and he treated it like a contract. That single choice removed a dangerous option, the option to escape when discomfort rose. Most people do the opposite. They keep a back door open. They say, I will try. I will see how it goes. If it gets too hard, I can stop. That sounds reasonable, but it trains your brain to negotiate every day. And when you are tired, stressed, or lonely, negotiation always ends the same way. You pick the easier path. Making it non-negotiable does not mean you become rigid or cruel. It means you choose 1 or 2 behaviors that are so important you stop debating them. You decide once, then you follow the rule even when your feelings change. Start by choosing a minimum standard, not the perfect version. The smallest version you will do no matter what. If you are rebuilding your health, the rule might be, I move my body for 10 minutes every day. If you are trying to get out of debt, it might be, I track every expense for 30 days. If you are trying to change your career, it might be, I spend 20 minutes a day learning the skill that pays me. If you are trying to stop drinking, it might be, I do not keep alcohol in my home. Simple, clear, and not open to discussion. Then remove 1 escape route. This is the burn the boats idea in real life. You take away the easy exit that keeps pulling you back. Examples. If you keep scrolling at night, charge your phone outside your bedroom. If you keep ordering food when you are stressed, delete the delivery apps and keep simple groceries ready. If you keep skipping workouts, book a class with a fee so you lose money if you do not show. If you keep avoiding a hard conversation, put it on the calendar and tell a friend you will do it. Accountability helps too. Matthew had honor tied to his father and that handshake. You can create your own version. Tell 1 person your rule, not 10 people. 1 person you respect. Send them a message that says, this is my non-negotiable for the next 30 days. That small social pressure can keep you from quitting on the rough days. Also, keep it focused. Many people fail because they make everything non-negotiable at once. That becomes overwhelming and you rebel. Pick 1 rule. Make it clean. Make it doable. The payoff of this rule is peace. When something is non-negotiable, you stop spending mental energy deciding again and again. You just do it. That frees up attention for the rest of your life. In the next rule, we talk about the final piece. Even with anchors and non-negotiables, life can still feel painful. The way you interpret the storm decides whether it breaks you or builds you. When life falls apart, it is easy to make it personal. You start thinking, why is this happening to me? You look at other people and assume they have it easier. You replay mistakes. You imagine the worst. That mindset turns a hard season into a prison. Matthew found a different frame. He said the harder it gets, the greater the reward on the other side. Notice what that does. It does not deny the pain. It gives the pain a job. It turns suffering into training. Training is different from punishment. Punishment feels pointless. Training has a purpose. Training builds strength you can use later. So how do you apply this when your world is messy? You start with a simple question. What is this season trying to teach me to practice? Not what is it trying to take from me? Practice. If you lost a job, the lesson might be structure without a boss. You learn to wake up, apply, study, and build skills even when nobody is watching. That is a powerful muscle. If you went through a breakup, the lesson might be self-respect. You learn to keep your routine, protect your sleep, and not chase validation. You learn to be alone without falling apart. If you are dealing with family stress, the lesson might be boundaries. You learn how to say no without guilt. You learn to be kind without being walked on. If you are overwhelmed with bills, the lesson might be honesty and focus. You stop avoiding numbers. You face the facts. You make a plan. You learn that small actions beat panic. This rule also helps with discipline because it changes how you talk to yourself. Instead of, "I cannot believe this is my life," you say, "This is hard, and I am building something through it." That language keeps you moving. Here is another practical tool. Shrink the time frame. When things are heavy, stop trying to solve the next year. Focus on the next day, then the next hour, then the next small action. Training happens in reps, not speeches. You can also create a reward map. Write down what you believe is on the other side. More confidence, a stronger body, a clearer mind, better relationships, more income. That is not fantasy. It is direction. When you can see what you are building, it is easier to stay disciplined. And remember, resilience is not never breaking. Resilience is bending and returning. You will have rough days. You might miss your anchors. You might slip on your rule. When that happens, do not label yourself. Reset. A storm does not cancel your progress. It reveals your systems. This is why disciplined people often look calm. They are not calm because life is perfect. They are calm because they have rules and a frame. They know the storm is part of the path, not the end of it. Now let us finish with 3 steps you can do today to put these rules into action in your own life. Step 1. Choose 2 daily anchors and make them small. Pick 1 body anchor and 1 mind anchor that you can do even on your worst week. Body anchor examples are a 10-minute walk, a short stretch, or a quick home workout. Mind anchor examples are 5 minutes of journaling, reading a few pages, or writing your top 3 tasks for tomorrow. Do not pick 5 habits. Pick 2. Small wins build stability. Make the start easy. Put your shoes where you can see them. Leave the journal open on your desk. Set a reminder on your phone for the same time each day. Then track it as yes or no. The goal is not a perfect day. The goal is daily measurement, proof that you are still steering. Step 2. Create 1 non-negotiable and remove 1 escape route. Choose 1 rule for the next 30 days that you will not debate. Keep it simple. I move for 10 minutes daily. I do not drink this month. I send 1 job application each weekday. I write 200 words before I scroll. Then remove the parachute. If your parachute is your phone, charge it outside the bedroom or delete the most distracting app. If your parachute is food delivery, remove the app and keep a few easy meals ready. If your parachute is skipping workouts, book a class or make a plan with a friend so there is a cost to quitting. If your parachute is avoiding tough talks, put the conversation on the calendar and tell 1 person you trust that you will do it. This step matters because when life gets painful, your brain looks for an exit. You are not trying to win an argument with your brain. You are changing the environment, so the best choice is easier. Step 3. Use a weekly reset to stay disciplined when you slip. Every week, pick a day and do a 10-minute reset. Ask 3 questions. What knocked me off track? What helped me stay steady? What is the next 1 step for the coming week? Then adjust your anchors and rules so they fit real life. For example, if evenings keep falling apart, move your anchors to mornings. If your minimum is too hard, make it smaller so you stop skipping. If your schedule is chaotic, choose a shorter version you can always complete. If stress makes you reach for old habits, add 1 support move, like a short walk after dinner or a call with a friend. 1 more tip. Keep a simple scorecard. 7 boxes for the week. Check off your anchors and your non-negotiable. Seeing those checks builds confidence, especially when the rest of life feels uncertain. Close with this truth. Discipline is not about being perfect when life is smooth. Discipline is about having a few rules that hold you together when life is messy. 2 anchors give you measurement. 1 non-negotiable removes debate. A weekly reset keeps you moving forward. Pick your 2 anchors today. Choose your 1 rule. Remove 1 parachute. Then run it for 7 days. That is how you stay disciplined when life falls apart.